folks, today is Friday, November 13th, 2020. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. And unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know it's a very busy week for video games all around. Now, before we jump into the first story, can I be corny for a second? Do you mind? I just want to say, like, with all the things releasing this week and last week, whatever it may be, I hope there's something out there that you got your hands on and it makes you happy. Whether it's a new console or not, whatever situation you're in, I just hope you're having some joy. I might come off a little strong, I'm sorry, but thank you for watching, and I mean it. But let's talk about the first story, for real. PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 released yesterday. We got our hands on one. It's right off screen there. It actually is, I'm not lying. But we are making a before you buy video, so keep your eyes peeled for that, and before you buys about some of the various launch games. But people have been getting their hands on these things, and lots of information has been coming out, including a surprise little feature. We're going to try and link the first person who figured it out, but we also tested it ourselves. The PlayStation 5 built-in seems to skip startup screens. Like, you know, when you boot up a game cold, then you get the publisher logo, the developer logo, and all that stuff before the game actually kicks into the main menu. PlayStation 5 seems smart enough to skip that, at least so far for first-party games. We've seen it with Spider-Man, other people are reporting it with Demon's Souls. The console seems to remember if you've seen those logos before. It's like, all right, you saw the logos, let's get it out of the way. Because even if the game is completely closed out and the console is restarted, it still seems to, when you fire up that game, skip that screen for you, which is just a cool, nice little surprise feature. And honestly, as the days go on, people are discovering more little things like that, so we'll keep you updated. But in terms of keeping you updated, there is some other stuff, some information about the PlayStation 5, with the fact that it does not support 1440p, and Sony has gone on record about that. In an interview with AV Watch, they had both the head of hardware engineering and operations and a senior vice president of platform planning and management, and they went on record about the PlayStation 5 saying that it does not support 1440p, but they are saying that that is because they are supporting TVs as the priority. So I guess that was their way of saying, like, that's a monitor thing and we don't want to do that. They did, however, say that if there's a lot of requests for it, they will try and implement support. So keep that in mind if you're a 1440 person with a sick 1440 monitor or something like that. Maybe tweet on social media to Sony, I don't know. Interestingly enough, there's also some PlayStation VR talk. Now, we haven't tested it yet. We haven't hooked up the PlayStation VR to a PS5. It is apparently supposed to work as a legacy type thing, you know, a backwards compatible type thing, but Sony was pretty interesting with what they said. Hideaki Nishino said that the PS5 will improve the experience, and then he also said to expect the PS5 to have a VR experience that is appropriate for the PS5. And he said that he's looking forward to it. Now, that can be read as a couple of different things. Is he saying that he thinks the PS5's power over time will just make the PSVR a better headset with the power behind it? Or does he mean that the PS5 itself needs something new that they are working on in the future? I could read it both ways. There have been rumors in the past circulating around a new PlayStation VR, a PlayStation VR2, one specifically for next-gen consoles. That's about all we know, but that little snippet of conversation was interesting. I saw a lot of people reading into it, so I wanted to present it to you guys. If you want to read all of that, of course, it's going to be linked down in the description below. Another new feature that has popped up, it seems like you can remote play access your PlayStation 5 on a PS4, so PlayStation 4s will have the PlayStation 5 Remote Play app, which is very, very cool, a cool way to possibly get some use out of your PlayStation 4 and not throw it in the trash, which you shouldn't do. But if your internet is good enough, you can essentially cast your PlayStation 5 to another room or something like that. I like these little things, these little surprises that come out on launch day. Just seems like a nice little convenience feature. I'm glad Sony's trying. I want to remote play my PlayStation 5 onto a PS4 hooked up to a 480p television for, like, the real experience. You know, get that true gamer feel, you know what I mean?
Oh, I feel you.
Next up, this episode is brought to you by Vessi. Now, some of you guys out there might know that we really love sneakers here, don't we? Woo! Vessi is a really impressive shoe. It's a straightforward, dependable kick. We've worked with Vessi in the past. They have sponsored us before, so we've had a lot of time to really test drive these shoes, and they've been my daily drivers because they're waterproof, while at the same time being a knit shoe. It's crazy. They're incredibly breathable and weatherproof, thanks to their Dymatex dual climate knit material, and generally, these shoes are just good for all seasons. Here, check them out. They're grippy, they're stretchy, they're dependable. These are actually kind of trash because I wear them a lot, so they take a beating, no problem. My dad even likes them. I got my dad a pair. Vessi has an early Black Friday sale going on right now, and grab your size while they still have them for the remainder of the season, and thank me later. Check them out on the link on screen here or in the link in the description below. And if you missed the Black Friday sale, you can use my offer code gameranx to get 25% off your first order. That is, of course, vessi.com/gameranx, and thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Thanks for that, folks. Now let's talk about Xbox. Series X also released this week, earlier on Tuesday, and we've got some sales information about it. First, we know that the Xbox Series XS launch was the biggest Xbox launch ever. We don't have exact sales numbers yet, but Microsoft has stated that more Xbox consoles have been sold in more countries than ever before, and it is worth pointing out that Eurogamer quotes Daniel Ahmad, the analyst, who is saying that that's probably higher than the 1 million units that the Xbox One launch had, which again is also something worth pointing out, that both of these consoles and games are out and working despite dealing with hurdles with the pandemic. And interestingly enough, in an interview, Xbox head Phil Spencer stated very boldly that we're not driven by how many consoles we sell. Now, that's something that's easy to say, to just act like, no, it's not about how many we sell, of course, but this interview, of course, goes into what you would expect, with really propping up the fact that they want players. They want a player base, they want memberships, they want people using their systems, stuff like that. Xbox has been building up an ecosystem. This is no surprise, so these comments shouldn't really be too much of a surprise. But I do also want to point out, in a GameSpot interview, Phil Spencer did go on record saying that he has seen and played quite a bit of Elden Ring, which is super cool. I know a lot of you guys out there have been asking for more news about From Software's next game. It's been pretty radio silent, but Phil Spencer himself has said that he's seen it and played it, and he also said that it's Miyazaki's most ambitious game to date. That's the quote. I will link the whole piece, the whole interview, in the description down below if you want it. Next up, we have to talk about vaping. Essentially, the Xbox Series X has made headlines for smoking. Videos have gone viral showing the top of the Xbox unit spouting smoke. You would think, oh no, there's a disaster, launch day problems, all the Xboxes are catching on fire. No. Read past the headlines, and what you will see is that some dude was blowing vape smoke into the intake in the back of the Xbox, and it was being exhausted out of the top. Yeah, that's where we're at, man. This is what we look at on the news. This is what we look forward to. Do we look forward to this? I don't know. But this is just what happens now. So that's a thing. No, it doesn't seem like Xboxes are catching on fire widespread at all, despite what your mom might tell you on Facebook. That being said, we are seeing little things pop up here and there. Some people have Xboxes fail on them. Some people have been having some buzzing and disk drive issues with the PlayStation 5. So far, from what we've seen, nothing seems widespread. The company seems to be pretty candid about little issues like this here and there. So while the headlines are easy to scare you, I wouldn't jump and think that like either the next PlayStation or the Xbox is having like a new red ring of death situation yet. We will keep you guys updated. Again, these consoles are only just getting into our hands now as we're making this video. I'd love to hear your experience, of course. If you're having any issues or if everything's smooth sailing on one of your consoles, let us know. But I do like that the Xbox brand account had to come out and say like, please don't blow vape smoke into your Xbox, you friggin' chud.
Vape smoke. Don't breathe this.
Now, in other news, Square Enix posted a loss of $48 million following the release of Marvel's Avengers. This is from the fiscal information up to the end of September 2020, and this is an operating loss, I must point out. They also didn't go and directly blame Avengers. Of course, they're not going to do that, but apparently they still have faith in turning it around and making a profit from it, because it is a games as a service type thing that they're going to keep supporting and adding to. So yeah, that's where that is. I know some people liked it, but it seems like it didn't catch on with the majority of people. I thought they crafted a pretty nice single player story experience. I just didn't like the games as a service type stuff, but maybe they can turn it around. I will say this, just stay with me for a second. You have games like No Man's Sky, where you spent $60 on it. It was disappointing at first. Then now years later, it's this insane, amazing game. So that was great. Then on the other end, you have stuff like Anthem, where they are still putting resources into it to try to make it better. But for the majority of audiences, do we want that? I would say that Marvel's Avengers is one that is worth at least trying to save, because it's a Marvel Avengers video game. Like, I want it to be good. I want it to like succeed, but that's where we're at right now. I thought it would make for an interesting conversation. That's why I brought it up, so I want to hear from you guys. Two other smaller things to note. We are getting Nioh remastered for next generation console, PlayStation 5. It will support up to 120 frames per second 4K. It is going to be the first 2 games cleaned up and nice and new with all the DLC and stuff like that. I think that's another thing to look forward to playing on your shiny new console. If you didn't get your hands on Nioh 2, I know a lot of people slept on both of them. It seems like in particular 2 really kind of skated under the radar. So yeah, now there's that. And of course, it wouldn't be an episode of the Friday show if we didn't talk about Cyberpunk. And we don't really have any news, but we do know that the 5th episode of Night City Wire is dropping next week, Thursday, November 19th at 6 p.m. Apparently, it's going to be a big focus on Keanu Reeves' character, Johnny Silverhand, and the music and stuff like that. I've already liked what they've shown off about the music so far. It's been really cool. So that's something to look forward to. But that's what's going on this week. We got to get back to work. Like I said, we're making a ton of videos. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Before You Buy on the actual PlayStation 5 console itself, which I think you're going to like. Keep your eyes peeled. Also, we are going to be doing a Before You Buy for somebody decided to release a new Call of Duty this week too. So we're doing that. We're going crazy over here. I'm pulling my hair out. I'm going to die. Anyway, like I said, I want to hear from you guys in the comments what you're thinking about the stories. I posed a lot of questions to you guys throughout the video, but if there's anything you also answer, just for our feedback purposes, are you planning on picking up a next generation console or a graphics card? Let us know, that type of stuff. Let's just have a little joy and a little fun. What are you playing this weekend? But thank you guys for watching, coming around here every Friday. Hopefully we got you guys caught up. Hopefully we got you guys caught up on everything going on. Go out there, have some fun. Clicking the like button does help us. We do really appreciate that. And if you're new, maybe consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.